Warning: the opinions expressed in this video do not represent YouTube, associations, agencies, nor any particular individuals. They are merely from a team assembled trying to pass the boredom of everyday life. Some explicit content may occur in this or future presentations. Viewer discretion may be advised. But ignore it if you're into that thing.
Everybody, I am Wildman Wes.
And I'm your Big Bad Wolf Benny.
And welcome to day 14 of the Wild Wolf Show, SHOCKTOBERFEST. Much like last year, it's about time we pull something out of the anime department. Oh yeah. This one is... I love this one. I've been watching it since I was a kid on like Saturday morning anime on Sci-Fi Network or Sci-Fi Channel, whatever you want to call it nowadays.
Back in the day.
We're going to be talking about the 1988 anime film Demon City Shinjuku. This one, it's got, swordplay, it's got demons, it's just got a lot of the supernatural in there.
It's got monsters, it's got everything you want. It's got people who become monsters because, oh, the world's ending, why not?
Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to take the helm on this one.
This is your stuff.
All right. So, the beginning of the movie has to deal with the demon quake that destroyed Shinjuku in Japan. And there are two rivals that used to be best friends in a Nempo class, or a Nempo school. That you have Genichiro and you have Rebi Ra. Now, Rebi Ra decides he's pretty much kind of like the Darth Vader, in a way, in this film, where he wanted more power. He wanted to rule the world. So he sold his soul to the demons and got more power, and he doesn't actually use a Nempo sword like we have right here.
He uses a demonic sword.
Oh, demon sword. He has a demon sword.
He has a demon sword.
And Rebi Ra and Genichiro have to fight to the death to bring balance from the demon quake. And unfortunately, Genichiro is killed in battle.
And the demons win pretty much at that point.
Now, fast forward 10 years later, Rebi Ra has 3 days to have the demon realm come to Earth. While what he doesn't know is that Genichiro had a son named Kiyoya. And during this time, Rebi Ra has to get the world president's daughter sacrificed in order for the demon realm to come to Earth. And as this is going on, Kiyoya finds out through the soul of their master that this is happening and that he is now the quote-unquote chosen one that has to save the day.
He is the only one who can actually go and stop him, even though they kind of make fun of it, like, you're not strong enough, you're not talented enough, but you're the only one who could go.
Fuck yourself, old man.
And they make measures like, well, why don't you just go? Well, I can't leave the president, so plot hole.
That is true. I actually forgot. I said soul, but I meant to say he projected his
key energy, his force ghost, whatever you want to call it.
Pretty much.
And like I said, it's pretty funny because, it's like, yeah, you're like our only hope, but at the same time, you're not strong enough to beat him. So, kind of feel bad for you. It's like, well, what? He even makes like, well, then why am I going to go?
Yeah, right.
Why am I going to go if I can't beat him?
So, anyways, Kiyoya has to go and find the world president's daughter so they can save him from being abducted from Rebi Ra before she can be abducted to become the sacrifice. They go on all sorts of adventures fighting demons. And eventually, there is the big battle between Kiyoya and Rebi Ra. We could always go on and tell you more about this, but at the same time,
go watch it.
Go watch it. And like we've said before,
and guys, I'm not gonna lie. This is the first time I watched it. We put it on the list because Wildman wanted it. And I'm like, I'll give it a shot.
And this is an 80s movie, so go to your local retail video store and pick yourself up a copy.
And he's never led me wrong on anime. And you know what? I actually fell in love with it because, like, the whole time your hero, he's having some impure thoughts, like when they go to, after they defeat the spider demon, and they're sleeping in this bed together, and he's just like, how does she expect me not to, sleep next to her and not her brains out? It's just like, so he ends up sleeping on the floor. So it actually has some human moments where it's just like, how are you not, I understand. I've slept next to many girls where I'm just like, we could do something, but
there's sensitive moments. There's humor. I mean, because in any type,
and then there's actually some emotional moments like Chirpy.
Oh, Chippy
the dog.
Oh, with Kudo.
Kudo.
Yeah, I didn't like that moment.
So anyway, guys, we don't ruin any more of the movie. That's a basic synopsis of the movie. So now we're going to jump into what we like, what we didn't like, and then we'll give you a grade of the movie. So I'm going to pass it off to the Wild Man, since this is his baby pretty much, and let him explain what he liked about the movie, and then I'll tell you what I liked about the movie.
I gotcha. I mean, what I like about the movie is that they definitely take a lot of concepts from, Eastern and Western culture. I mean, obviously one of the things that I mentioned earlier about Rebbe Ra, he kind of has this Darth Vader-esque, mentality of wanting more power, wanting to rule the world. And, you have the Master who, projects himself. He's kind of like the Obi-Wan Kenobi in a way.
Obi-Wan, Yoda, one of the two. He's more like Yoda because he's a tiny little guy.
Yeah, it's more so just the projection.
Just the projection, the astral projection.
And I mean, and Kyoya definitely has that Luke Skywalker mentality. I mean, he doesn't really follow.
He's a combination of Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. Because he's got that smartness.
And he's got the swagger, but the compassion.
But he's got that compassion that Luke Skywalker is. So he's a combination of Solo and Skywalker put together. And I'm sorry, that's just a bad combination.
Exactly. I mean, and apart from that, and even the story. I mean, you have this concept of like 3 days. I mean, a lot of movies, have that kind of, you have 3 days to take care of everything.
It kind of goes back to biblical, ancient days. Just 3 is one of those numbers, that just...
It just
For
works.
some reason, it works. It's like I said, you can go back to the Bible, you can go back to any kind of religion, and 3, 7, 6, they all play key roles for some reason. So they chose 3 days.
And I mean, plus that, I mean, not just with Kyoya kind of having that Star Wars-esque, mentality of Han Solo and Luke Skywalker, just the ensemble. I mean, you also have the President's daughter. Who's that voice of reason? And she's compassionate.
She's an innocent. She's pretty much
innocent.
She tries to help everybody. She trusts everybody, which actually leads her into some trouble early on in the film. And then she's learning as she's going that, yes, I can't trust all these people here because some of them have some dark intentions. But at the same time, she ends up saving these children, all these spirits of these children who died when the demon quake went off. And the only reason why is because she can be compassionate, and that's what saves them.
And then when we mentioned with Chippy, I mean, he's kind of like the underground person that survived all the demon quake.
He's been there, he's seen the dark stuff, and he's trying to survive.
He's a street smart character that most of us have seen in so many films.
When you meet
in
him,
all genres.
Yeah, basically when you meet him, you're like, he's kind of a douchebag, and then you hear his story, and then you start to like him. He's like, you know what? He doesn't have to stick with the group, but he does, and he's trying to make the world better, even though he's really just kind of thinking of himself at the time. But at the same time, he's a lovable character, and he does have some funny moments.
And I do love the character Mephisto. He is.
That was actually what I was going to talk about. That was my favorite part, was Mephisto. You have this character in the movie. His name is Mephisto. He's bad. You don't know if he's a demon or if he has some supernatural abilities, which he kind of does. He's an awesome character. Like, he definitely could have stepped up, and he could have definitely tried to stop it, and I believe he probably could have.
And I would not doubt it for a fact, and I mean, people could, research this later, but as I've watched the movie over the years, and I've played video games,
as we do,
there is a character that reminds me of Mephisto in so many ways. I think of Vincent from Final Fantasy VII. It's that red trench coat,
it's that swagger,
the long black hair,
He's just a confident character. Like, he knows his abilities, so he knows what he's capable of, so he knows he's a bad.
I mean, that's pretty much what I like. I mean, just the ensemble, the story, and just...
That's my favorite part of Mephisto. That's what I was gonna say, is like Mephisto, and then you talked about him, like, well, damn. But yes, no, Mephisto's a bad character. I really wish we got to see a little bit more of him. Maybe get a little backstory. Maybe, hey guys, I know it's been some years since we've made the movie, but prequel.
Man, that could be interesting to see Rebbe Ra before he became a demon.
See Mephisto was going on, seeing all that stuff. That'd be fun to see that.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. I'd buy a lot of things for $1.
I know you do.
So anyway, now let's jump into what we didn't like about the movie.
I'm going to let you go on this one first.
There's not a lot of things I didn't like. It was a pretty good movie, pretty good anime. Like I said, you've never stirred me wrong on anime movies, especially when they're horror related. I guess the only thing I could say is, since it came out in 1988, right? 1988?
Give or take.
Give or take. Maybe with how they were, stealing from maybe, like you said, that Darth Vader-esque his thing, and then the swords, how he had to go get the sword, maybe a little bit of King Arthur, so maybe they stole from other mythology, but it worked for the movie. So I'm not saying it's a terrible thing, but if I have to say something bad about the movie, that's what I'll say is, I kind of felt like I've seen this before, but it was in a good way. Like, the story's good, but like some of the elements, like I've seen this in other stories before, you know what I'm saying? So, great movie, definitely check it out, but you'll notice these similarities, and maybe that's what they were going for in this movie, and there's nothing wrong with that then, if that's what they were going for.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get you on that one. The one thing I really didn't like about it, I mean, it's not a big thing, but it's not necessarily an insignificant thing. Whenever I've watched horror movies or just any type of movie where,
there's a horror element or a supernatural element,
especially
like
when there's an ensemble cast of villains, especially like the cronies or like the side characters, I tend to think that most of them are, you have a blithering idiot once in a while. I mean, look at, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You've got your little side characters like Chop Top in Part 2 that's kind of, he looks like a blithering idiot, but in honesty, he's a genius. But in this one, you really don't know a whole lot about the villains, and they get dispatched very quickly.
Well, the coolest demon, and the one who lasted the longest, was probably the first demon, the spider demon.
Yeah.
He lasted long. The second one, the water demon, she was kind of weak, and was the third demon the kid spirits thing?
Well, no. Then there was the one Mephisto fought, the woman.
The woman,
that
yes.
kind of like the snake demon.
And like the fact that like he took him out, it just shows how ineffective she might have been against him.
Yeah, and it just kind of, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously, in any type of movie, anime, call it what you will, you're going to have quick battle scenes where someone is going to be
My only thing
quickly.
is, I think I know what you're getting at is, the first villain that he fought, the first demon, probably shouldn't have been the spider demon. You probably should have saved that one for like the last one, because that was his toughest battle.
I feel that maybe it was one-sided. I mean, don't get me wrong, I always say this phrase, but it's like, I like a little bit of balance. I like balance. I like to see some of the good characters,
get kicked.
Or die. Not necessarily,
Yeah, besides...
You never want the heroes or good people to die.
But you know what? It makes for exciting storytelling.
It makes for drama.
And it gives a reason for
You're emotionally invested.
And it gives a reason for the hero to finally finish the mission, take out all the evil, because I have to avenge my friend.
Because the only moment where Kyoya finally saw the light is when, pun intended, is when he finds his father's sword. And literally, that shining light.
So that, like I said,
it took the whole movie for that to happen, and it's just kind of like...
And then, when it happened, his master's like, oh, the prophecy's been fulfilled. Well, why wouldn't you tell him that to start with? Find your father's sword and you'll become more powerful.
That's the only thing I've got an issue with.
It's a major plot hole. Like, now that you're saying that, that's a major plot hole thing, because, like, it's cool if, like, the master is like, oh, he found a sword. Like, oh my god, maybe he'll get his father's power. But he even says, he's like, his father channeled all his energy into the sword when he flung it before he died. Okay, well, why wouldn't you tell him that then? Find your father's sword. That should be your main thing when you get there. Find your father's sword, and you'll be strong enough to take out, all the villains, no problem. Mm-hmm. But again, then, the story wouldn't have been as exciting. Those battles with the other demons would probably not have lasted that long.
True.
So again, everything happens for a reason. But why wouldn't he tell him, like, find your father's sword? They still could have been looking for it while he's fighting these other demons to get there. But at the same time, it's like, he kind of just stumbled upon the sword and just like, all of a sudden, all right, well...
Oh, look, I found the sword!
Now you're going to win. So that's another thing I didn't like. Now that you mentioned that is, why wouldn't you mention that? Find your father's sword. Because it's one thing, is like, if they found the sword and then he gained, he's like, oh, maybe this is what happened. But no, he's like, oh, the prophecy's been fulfilled. It's just like,
but at the same time, it definitely strayed away from Star Wars, where Obi-Wan gives Luke his father's lightsaber. So at least they were, they were self-aware of that.
Well, anyway, guys, let's just jump in right where we grade this.
I'm going to give this one a solid A. Apart from that little plot hole.
Little inconsistencies, okay.
Other than that, the animation quality is phenomenal. A lot of the animation quality from, manga core and even like toy animation with things like Akira and Fist of the North Star.
They look
During
good.
that time, I mean, anime was great. Anime is still great to this day. I mean, they've made so many advancements. I mean, if you look at the anime for like, or the animation for like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, God, it's fun.
I mean, that is straight out like Fist of the North Star. And I love it.
One of my favorite new animes is actually Fairy Tail. I love Fairy Tail.
That one's good, and Berserk is always a
Berserk.
really good
Oh,
one.
God, guys, if you haven't seen Berserk, we should definitely talk about that.
Yeah,
sometime.
we definitely will.
I love them. They're on Netflix. You have the first 3 arcs.
But yeah, solid A for me.
I'm going to give it an A2. I like the story.
All right, unanimous.
The characters, they actually invested in the characters. You found out about the characters. You started to like the characters. And the movie was only like an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes long. So the fact that they were able to get this much depth into their characters, that you actually cared about them, yeah, like, it's good. That's good storytelling.
That is the one thing about anime that I have always liked, apart from your typical Hollywood film or blockbuster film. A lot of Hollywood tends to put 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. Anime, there's a lot more freedom that you can use.
And you know what? This is a perfect
worked.
example of a movie very short movie. Like I said, only an hour and 20 to an hour and 30 minutes long. Now, usually movies now are like 2 hours long. So,
These epics.
the fact that they did all this character development in this short amount of time is great. Because like I said, it made you love the characters. And, I mean, there's a couple characters that you end up loving, like Mephisto, who only have maybe 15 minutes of screen time.
Less than that.
Less than that. But just when he talks and he's explaining why he's helping, it's like you get invested in why his character might be doing this. Maybe he lost a loved one. Something like that. But he wants to help, and he does, and you like that. Like I said, Mephisto's my favorite character.
Yeah, mine too. I mean, and you
He's
want to know more about it.
I do. Like I said, like a prequel would be nice, just explaining maybe some of more like Mephisto's backstory, like how he ended up in the Demon City, why he was there, how he survived these 10 years with, not nobody killing him, and how he got so powerful as he did. So that's what I liked. That's another good reason I liked about this movie was that.
Yeah, well, apart from all this bromance of Mephisto.
Sorry, Mephisto's bad.
Awesome, though.
Hold on, guys. There's a picture up of him right now.
Yeah. We probably showed one before, but just
in
embrace
case.
it.
I really want you to embrace
So,
Mephisto.
anyways, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you like, share, leave a comment on what you liked about this and what you didn't like about
Make
it.
sure you push that red button.
And ring that bell while you're at it. Don't make me come over there and get you.
Yeah, you will. Sword.
Yeah, exactly. Well, other than that, I'm Wildman Wes.
And I'm your big bad wolf, Benny.
And we will see you tomorrow on day 15 of the Wild Wolf Show Shocktoberfest.
Halfway there, almost.
Halfway there.
Woo.
See you soon. Holy shit.
What the matter with you,
Danny,
dude?
what? Dude, you look just like I feel. Like, seriously. Dude, you look peaking. Everything alright?
I want meat.
You want meat?
Meat.
Okay.
Okay, you want meat.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
And that pea soup didn't taste good.
Pea soup?
No.
Wait. Did you play with your Ouija board earlier today?
Is that what that was?
I saw a piece of paper that said Captain Howdy.
Yes.
I'll call the priest.
Son of a